on both sides of the equation by the least common denominator. Any common denominator will do, but the least common denominator makes your life a lot easier. So let's look at these two terms. We have x and 3 over x. If this isn't a fraction, I could put it over 1, right? What's the common denominator between 1 and x? What? I know you said x. Yeah. Okay, what about this one? X minus 6 and 4. What do you think the common denominator is? Yeah, 4 times x minus 6. If they're just completely different, you just multiply them together. These ones aren't completely different. What about x cubed and x squared? X cubed, yes. So technically you could use x to the 5th would be multiplying them together, but it's going to make things more complicated if you just multiply them together every single time. So you always want to find the least common denominator. So let's try a problem. Solve, and it says check for extraneous solutions. All right, so put this down in your notes. Get your notes out. Here's our first example. So the way we're going to solve these, we actually did this, I feel like way back in Unit 1. We said, hey, if there's a bunch of fractions in a problem, can't you multiply by something to clear out the fractions? We're going to do the same thing here, except now we're just looking at, we have x and 2 and x. What do you think the common denominator is between all three of those? 2x. If I multiply each term by 2x, it should clear out all of the fractions. So on the first term, the x's would cancel, and I would have 4 times 2, so 8, plus, on the next fraction, the 2's will cancel, so we'll have 5 times x. And over here, what will we have? Negative 22. This is a linear equation. We know how to solve these. Just get x by itself. So subtract 8. And then what? Divide by 5. X equals negative 6. Before you circle your answer, it says check for extraneous solutions. There are some values that you may actually solve and get an answer, but if you plugged it back in, that would be an issue. So you don't have to plug it into the whole equation. All you got to do is look at these denominators. Remember on the very first day of this unit, we listed out excluded values? Like what number could I plug in for x that would create a 0 in the denominator? 0. If I plugged in a 0 there, wouldn't that give me an undefined? So x cannot be 0. That is excluded from the domain. So what? Not in this one, because x was the only thing in the denominator. So 0 is the only thing excluded. We didn't get 0 as an answer, so now we can circle it. Okay, let's try another one. All right, the first thing is to try to figure out what do I need to multiply by to clear out all of the denominators here. So look at the denominators. Any thoughts on what we should do first? Why don't we factor this x squared minus 1? So x plus 1 times x minus 1. Okay, now what do you think I should multiply by to clear out everything? X minus 1 times x plus 1. Let's just say you said x plus 1 is the only thing. Like you just made a mistake and you were like, I think it's just what they have in common. If you go to multiply this fraction by this, you won't be able to cancel everything out. So it should be kind of self-checking along the way. All right, so what would we have left first? The x plus 1's will cancel, and I will have 4x plus 1 times x minus 1. All right, on the other side, yeah.
I just had a question. Why are you like multiplying by that? Don't we already have it?
If I only multiply by x plus 1, when I get to this fraction, I'm trying to cancel everything that's in the denominators. This would only cancel an x plus 1. I still have an x minus 1 in the denominator. So you need like everything from all the denominators, if that makes sense. So now on this fraction, everything will cancel and I'll just have the 12 left. Plus 3 times, I can write out both of those, but don't we know what they are multiplied together already? X squared minus 1. So I'm going to write it like this. Save yourself a step. Okay, now we got to start multiplying everything out. 4x squared, let's see, minus 4x plus 1x would be minus 3x. Minus 1. Distribute the 3. What type of equation do we have? Quadratic equation. So the last one was linear. Your strategy is different. You get all the x's on one side, all the numbers on the other. What is our strategy for quadratic? Everything on one side equals 0. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to subtract the 3x squared. So that's x squared. How many x's do I have? Minus 3x. And I have 9 over here. So if I subtract 9, that would be minus 10. Is that factorable? Yes. X minus 5, x plus 2. X equals 5 and negative 2. So we had 2 answers this time. But wait, before we circle our answer, what are our excluded values? What can x not be? 1 and negative 1. Was that an answer we got? We cross it out. So if negative 2 had been one of the answers here, I would just cross it out and say only x was 5. If we got both of these numbers, we would say no solutions. So if you have to cross out everything, that's what you do. All right, here's another one. All right, what do you think I should multiply? Multiply this. Yep. Just x minus 2. All right, so my first term is going to be 5x. 7 times x minus 2. Plus 10. Oh, yeah, we have a linear function. I like these better. 7x minus 14 plus 10. So let's see, I'm going to get negative 2x over here equals negative 4. So x equals 2. What are my excluded values? Oh, it finally happened. Okay, so I'm going to say that is not an answer choice. And if I have no answers, what should I write? So sometimes you may get 2 answers and then one of them works and one of them doesn't. So that would just be your one answer. Sometimes maybe both of them won't work, or you had one answer and that one didn't work. You can have any combination of numbers of answers. 0, 1, 2, 3. All right, what should I do first? Yeah, we need to figure out what we need to multiply by. If anything needs to be factored, then do that. So that's x times x minus 2, which is what we're going to multiply by on the whole equation. All right, so my first term is going to be 10 plus the x's cancel. 4 times x minus 2. Over here I get 5x. So this is 4x minus 8. What am I going to get? 2, yeah. X over here equals 2. What are my excluded values?
0.
2 and 0. Okay, so another no solutions. No solution, no solutions. Which one? Okay, last one. All right, this one's slightly different than the other ones because we just have fraction equals a fraction. The other one had like fraction plus fraction equals fraction, or fraction minus fraction equals fraction. If you just have fraction equals fraction, you remember how to cross multiply? You can do that. It's the same thing. You'll end up with the same answer either way you do it. So I'm going to cross multiply. 2 times x minus 1 equals 1 times x squared minus x. What type of equation do we have here? Quadratic. Okay. So let me multiply that out. I need to get everything on one side. I think I'll move these over here. So x squared minus 3x plus 2. Is that factorable? Yes. We should get x minus 2, x minus 1. So x equals 2 and 1. What are my excluded values? 1 and 0. So 1 is not a solution, 2 is. What if this wasn't factorable? What would you have to do? You can do the quadratic formula or complete the square or one of the other methods. There may be 1 or 2 on your homework that aren't factorable. Just FYI. Okay? All right, you guys can go ahead and get started on your worksheet.